इसको किसी से कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं लैपटॉप से ताकि डायरेक्ट लैपटॉप की आवाज़ आए। Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the AWS reInvent recap. I'm excited to be here with you to discuss the highlights from last year's reInvent conference. From those who are not familiar with the reInvent, it is an annual cloud computing conference hosted by Amazon Web Services. Last year event was held from November 28th to December 2 in Las Vegas. We will be exploring various new features and services that were announced during the event and discuss their potential applications for the cloud computing industry. So, without further ado, let's get started. Our first speaker is Saruvat. Saruvat works as an Amazon Web Services Solutions architect. He assists customers in Southeast Asia in adopting cloud technology and planning for operational processes, particularly for FSI and enterprise customers. He will talk on data analytics and storage. Over to Saruvat.
Okay, sorry, I put it on mute. Can you hear me now? Okay, got it. Let me restart again. My name is Surawut, Principal Solution Architect from AWS. So sorry that I cannot join you with you in persons. Right now I'm in Bangkok, so I would like to take this opportunity to share with you about reinvent recap that we have during a reinvent. Okay. The area that I will focus today is on two area. The first one is on storage, and the second one is analytic. Let's start on the storage. You may know that on AWS we have so many storage type. We have a EBS, a block storage that you can put a data mount into virtual servers and use it as a NAS storage itself. For this year, what we announced, we announced a EBS optimization. As we have multiple disk type, we have IO2 optimized for IOP. About 2 years ago, we announced GP3, General Purpose Generation 3 disk, which is faster and cheaper. So there are ambiguous or some customers not sure which one is more cost effective for their use case. So we provide you a cost optimizer, a utility, help to recommend the right disk storage that can use with your use case. We even give you an indicator on price difference per monthly after you use or change into the right disk storage. Okay, so we are so focused on cost optimization and make sure that the workload that you run on AWS uh, was optimized on uh, to save your cost. The second one, we announced a feature of a lifecycle manager for Amazon EBS snapshot archiving. So many times when you have multiple hundreds of thousands of servers, you may put your servers on a snapshot, create a snapshot to back up your servers. But many of our customers forgot that how many snapshot they create. And because of number of snapshot accumulate, cost of snapshot archiving is become more expensive. So we create a news engine, allow you to set up a policy, how long you want to maintain or retain that snapshot. And we delete it or generate report automatically. Okay. The third one is EBS rule lock for recycle bin. When you create a Amazon AMI or EBS snapshot, sometime by one of your technical might uh, choose to delete the AMI, the Amazon Machine image, or even snapshot itself. But uh, according to corporate policy, you might need to make sure that before it was more empty from recycle bin, you want to maintain the delete snapshot or delete Amazon Machine image for how long. Right now, we allow you to create a rules, specify how many days that you want to maintain before it automatic archive or empty the recycle bin from the recycle bin. Okay. The second part on of storage that I would like to share with you is on S3 announcement. Amazon S3 is object storage. We know that it's very cheap, cost effective. You can put a few terabyte data with very minimum cost, and at the same time, we guarantee durability of your data in Amazon S3 at 99.999, or easily we say it 11.9. So you don't need to worry about backup or maintain multiple copy of your data. For this year, S3, we announced multiple things regarding the Amazon S3. Okay. Uh, let's start with the first one. Amazon S3, we have multiple type. We have on demand. We have a general purpose S3. We have S3 IA, or we call it infrequent access. But for deep archive, we have S3 Glacier. Glacier, it takes longer time to get data back into life cycle, but we make it so cheap. So it's good for deep archiving, right? In the past, it take a bit of time to restore from deep archive back to ready to use stage. But because of architecture, even we maintain the same pricing, we make the data retrieval 90% faster than previously. There is no additional cost. So when you use Amazon Glacier Deep Archive, now you can get your data back to ready stage at a lot faster time. Okay. Second thing, even S3 is so durable. I just told you that is a durability for S3 file is 99.999999911.9. But in some case, some customers so concerned and information inside it might super important. They want to make sure that even one of Amazon region is not available, maybe due to data communication from customers location or any reason. They want to make sure that data access into S3 is still available. So this year, AWS announced that yep, we can do that. Right now, you can store same data in multiple regions. For example, you might store one copy in Europe, another copy in Middle East, another copy in Asia. So even one of fiber optic underwater cable may disrupt your connectivity to one of geolocation. But by using Amazon S3 multi-region access point, it will automatically fail over to another reachable region that have your data. Okay. For example, in this case, if you keep the first copy in North Virginia, second copy in Frankfurt, the third copy in Sydney, and your user or application user of your application is from anywhere in the world, from that user location might have a network connectivity problem to one of our region. But by using S3 multi-region access point, it will make sure that your data is available, and data between each region will automatic replication and make sure that data is consistent. Okay. Another thing, we do automatic failover. So you don't, we provide you a graph, we provide you a dashboard to monitor availabilities, traffic for each bucket. So you can balance, you can configure your workload properly. Okay. If you need more information about S3 multi-legion, please feel free to scan a QR code for more information or even testing it with by yourself. I think our team in Pakistan already plan for some credit that you can test with it. Okay. Another things, many customers after using our service, they want to make sure that cost of optimized data is secure and they can manage and governance data properly. Same thing, S3 simple storage solution use case is so many type of use case that you can use. You can use it for analytic, you can use it for archiving, you can use it for even object storage or static web page, right? But to make sure that it's cost effective and governance properly, AWS provide you a tool, we call it S3 storage lens. S3 storage lens will help you to do a cost optimization. Are there any object that you delete and accidentally you forgot to remove it? Because when you delete S3 object and you enable versioning, even you delete, it just mark delete, but multiple copy of your data, because you enable versioning of your data will retain in your storage, and it will cost have a cost occur to you. Okay. Or even you want to verify that, hey, do I do a multi-factor authentication for file delete on critical bucket? Do I configure it completely? Who can access to my bucket? Or even, are there any performance issue? For example, 403, if you use it for static web page, are there any server error or server not available from that request? This kind of thing, instead of monitors and digest in just log and verify log by yourself, AWS provide tools for you. We call it Amazon S3 storage lens. There are two parts. The first part is free of charge, so you can run cost optimization report, delete marker storage by incomplete data or object count within last 7 days. Data protection, do you encrypt it or enable multi-factor authentication when deleted? You can verify this policy. The first part, 13 metrics, is free of charge. For advanced feature on cost optimization that relate to a lot of data or analytic, there are minimum charge. So if you need more information, feel free to let us know, or you can find it on our website. And if you have any follow-up question, feel free to drop us an email. Okay. Yep. This is a sample. If you want to do S3 inventory object ACI information, storage lens can help you to do that. Or even you can perform all tasks, just create a JSON file, run, verify it. S3 now support cross-account access point is very important. For example, if you want to share data from your account to another subsidiary, instead of grant the whole bucket for public, right now you can use a cross-account access point with IAM access control. So it's secure, it's authorized, and you can verify who accessed it. The third part that I would like to share with you is on file storage management. We know that many users don't just want storage that attached to EC2 or object storage, but they're looking for something like a shared drive, Windows FSX, or many things, right? File launch, we have a multiple, so many things announced during reInvent 2022. For example, EFS, EFS is Elastic File System, allow you to use file system across multiple servers. We have FSX, the file sharing services. Let's go, for example, the first one. When you create a file sharing service, uh, the it's very difficult because you need to provision a capacity, right? But in the past, before reInvent, you need to specify the IOP. What is the throughput that you want for that shared storage? And it's very difficult to planning because you might have a short spike for a certain period of time. But at the same time, if you over provisioning it or provision beyond the peak or spike capacity, it means that you pay for idles that you did not utilize it. So AWS, Amazon EFS, Elastic File System, we on this year we announced that you can use elastic throughput. What does this mean? It's meaning that you can commit on a certain level the threshold that you want, and then you can put a maximum cap. What is a peak throughput that you allow a system allow the service to burst into, right? You can specify the peak threshold by yourself, or if you don't specify it and you enable this feature, AWS will average peak throughput and increase for 5% for you. But by this way, you don't need to worry about, oh, okay, during peak time, a lot of a lot of shared drive activity, I might not have enough throughput. System will automatically adjust the throughput for you, and you just pay for what you use. And we even increase the latency or access time, lower latency as low as 250 milliseconds to access the file. So right now, Amazon EFS is a lot faster than the past, than the past, and at the same time, we make it flexible to serve your workload. Okay. At the same things as Amazon S3, Glacier, Deep Archive, Amazon EFS, we increase we reduce lead latency and write latency. So read latency we reduce by 70%, write latency we reduce by 40%. And good things, you get a faster service without additional cost. So we just want to let you know that our service is always improve monitors, and we always provide you a new capability to serve your need. So in case that you have a request, please log it into system. You can from your console, you can submit a functional request, and based on customers functional request, we set a priority based on number of requests and urgency, and then we create our new product function feature based on customers feedback. Okay. Another things that I would like to add here is one day lifecycle management for EFSIA. As same as S3 EFS, standard is the most expensive one. But because it's allow you to access data immediately, and however, if you don't no longer need to access that data frequently, you can move your data into EFS standard IA tier. Okay. In the past, to move when you put data into EFS, minimum time that you can you need to stay in EFS standard at least 7 days before you can move from EFS to EFS IA. But now, right now, we enable lifecycle management. So just 1 day after you put data into your EFS standard, it can move into EFS IA, infrequent access. So by this way, it's cheaper for your cost to use this. So it's cheaper cost for you to use this service. And as you see, for example, if you generate a new report, multiple branch or office need to access it during that day. Yep, you may put data in EFS standard. After that, less people interesting on that because a new is a daily report, so you can move your data into EFS IA. Okay. Yep. And we know that many users would like to get data from on premise into on cloud or sharing data. So we announced NetApp on tap FSX, the file sharing system. FSX on tap, NetApp on tap can work seamlessly with NetApp on premise. So if you already have NetApp on premise and you want to move some part or access that data set on NetApp on tap from cloud, you can do that, or even provision some part of your NetApp infrastructure on cloud to enable virtual access. Okay, we have a Windows file servers FSX allow you to provision uh, file sharing in Windows system, or ZFS CFS for Linux-based file servers. For Linux-based file server, we increase the throughput. Right now, you can have more than 1 million IOP. So don't worry that, hey, my file sharing, the Linux file sharing is not fast enough. Yep, we can handle up to more than 1 million IOP. Okay, I will skip the detail right now. But just a highlight, it allows you to seamlessly to integrate on-premise and on-cloud data sharing to Amazon network infrastructure. Okay, backup. Yes, we have a lot of features enabled. For example, application awareness backup. We will make it available. SAP HANA on EC2 backup. Yep. And CloudFormation that allow interface for application aware backup. We will release it very soon. Okay. We also provide a compliance report, because for some customers you might need to provide evidence for your auditor that, hey, backup operation, even your infrastructure on cloud is do properly. We have a report, we have a utilities to help you to generate based on securities 17A FINRA or another format. Yep. For details, we have a YouTube channel. I will provide you the slide deck after this. The second part that I would like to share with you is on data analytic. First thing, data analytic. Many of our customers utilize Elasticsearch open source. Open source is Amazon open source version of a search engine that you can store data log inside. But one of problem of open source or Elasticsearch is server is grow so fast, and sometimes during some period of day, uh, workload of open source is so high. For example, if you do an online transaction and you put a lot of data in open source and you query it during daytime, your open source might have a spike in utilization. And as many of our service, how we address that, we help you to manage the capacity of your system. We make it as a serverless. So in the near future, right now it's in preview stage. Preview stage is meaning that if you interest, you can register, request to access to early version of this service. It's not GA, yes, it's not general available yet. So please be patient. But our concept is in the future you can provision OpenSearch, Elasticsearch, uh, without worry about the servers. We will manage server for you. Data is there. We automatic scaling when you require, and you just pay for capacity or CPU utilization and data storage that you use. Okay, we have a data zone. Data zone is a platform that allow you to share data from producer to consumer. Because many large corporates move data into cloud, do analytic and data sharing on cloud. So how to create it? So from producer side, when you generate a data or interesting information, or you can publish a catalog, you can create a catalog and authorization, break down data into multiple silo, grant authorization who can access it, and then you can have a consumer. It might be a BU in your organization or subsidiary. They can submit a request. They can have authorized to access only a specific data set in your that you allow based on authorization. So by this way, collaboration between producer and consumer is a lot easier. However, it's faster, easier, but we have a governance to manage and govern data security. And the most important is simplify the collaboration. Okay, we announced a glue data quality. In the past, Amazon Glue is a tools that help you to do data ingest, ETL, data cleansing. But for sure, data engineer need some kind of tool to make sure data before putting into data lake is clean up and have a right quality. You may recall that we have a proverb, garbage in, garbage out, right? Glue data quality will help you to cleaning and screening and make sure that data before you put into data lake is the right quality. And data quality, glue data quality come with a markup language. We call it DQDL. So you can use DQDL, data quality definition language, to clean your data. It's combined with SQL statement or some easy script. For example, a standard deviation of this field must be between 1.6 to 1.79. You don't need to write a script how to calculate standard deviation. You just specify, oh, this in this field, in this data set, standard deviation that I want is from this one to this one. Okay, that's what we will release. Right now it's in preview stage. If you're interested, feel free to go to website and apply for preview. We provide you an analytic platform, but many customers also think ask me that, hey, what about data ingest? I have a Google ad, I have a BigQuery, I have a Facebook ad, I have a help desk on Zendesk, I have a SAP. I want to interface Salesforce Marketing Cloud information into our analytic. How can you do that? AWS have an Airflow. Amazon Airflow is available for a few years, but this year we increase our integration. Right now we support more than 50 application out of the box. Okay, so you can see that right now Facebook ad, Google ad, Sendex sales, Sendex chat, and many more is available for you. So you can use Amazon Airflow to directly integrate, get data from BigQuery, put it into our Amazon S3, do a PySpark analytic, or even use Athena to do a SQL query based on uh, the the file that you put in Amazon S3, or even the Zoom meeting log is also available there. Okay. Amazon Athena, as I just mentioned a minute ago, Amazon Athena, in the past, we allow you to submit SQL statement and then apply it to S3 object, Parquet or CSV. Okay. And instead of load your data into database, you don't need to do that. Just supply a SQL statement. We use a serverless mechanism, allow you to run SQL statement against your data file and return object for you. But this year, we increase our capability. We know that based on data lake or object in Amazon S3, many of our customers want to do a map reduction, want to use Apache or Spark to manipulate their or crunching their data. So we provide you Amazon Athena for Apache Spark without provision any servers. You put a Spark script and then put a specified data source. We provision a resource automatically, bring your script running, and get output to put into the format or location that you want, and then deprovision. And you just pay for resource that to run during a processing time. And this one is already GA. So feel free to try and testing it. Amazon Redshift is a database for data warehouse that AWS provide. This year, we provide integration for PySpark. So if it is a cold data, you might put data into Amazon S3 and use Amazon Glue, right? But if it is you want to maintain ACID, or uh, there is a relation or a dependency that you want to join multiple data set, Amazon Redshift is a good choice. And we make sure that your your Apache Spark can run anywhere. So not just Athena Spark, we also provide Amazon Redshift integration for Apache Spark. So you can use Apache Spark application, Python, Scala to access to data without servers. Okay. The same thing on analytics. Even we have a data warehouse. In the past, when you have a stream, you need to create an application to intercept, to accept that stream information, uh, cleansing, transforming before insert into Redshift. Right now, we have Amazon Redshift streaming ingestion. So when you have the stream, no matter it's come from Kafka or Kinesis, you just provide point that streaming into ingestion of Redshift. We can do the ETL, we can do SQL based on that data and put it into Amazon Redshift data warehouse. Redshift, right now, we provide you a preview of Redshift multi-AC. So automatic failovers, easy manage single endpoint. It automatic failover between AC, workload processing across AC also available. This one is in preview stage. Okay. Another things, so many things that we announced each year. In each year, we have more than 2,000 new capability, and only the highlight one that we announced during reInvent. So you can see that we really listen to our customers and make it available based on your request. 90% of new features come from customer feedback. One of features that after you have data warehouse, and because of PII, GDPR, many customers worry about data masking, right? We Amazon Redshift right now support dynamic data masking. It's in a preview stage. So you can define a pattern of which field, how many digits that you want to mask, So data in data warehouse is still there, but when you retrieve, you access it, it depend on your role, what kind of data that you see, or which part of data, which part of column will be masked. Okay. Another things we announced, because we have data warehouse in Redshift, right? For sure, some of your subsidiary might upload data into Amazon S3, right? In the past, you need to create a job to monitor in Amazon S3 before upload data into data warehouse. But right now, we Amazon Redshift have an auto copy. So you just identify that, hey, this is a bucket, or this is a folder for data ingest. Anytime when your subsidiary, your business partner, or batch processing system generate a new output, Amazon Redshift will keep monitoring it and automatic upload a new data set when it's available into Amazon Redshift table. So it saves time. It makes the integration between the system easier without scripting. Okay. I will skip this one. Amazon QuickSight is a visualized tool. You can use Amazon QuickSight to generate data, or visualize generate report, or visualize data that you, after you analyze your data warehouse or run analytic job. This year, what we do with QuickSight, because many times data is generated in long list from your data warehouse, we add a capability to run a paginate, divide your report into multiple page, and keep it as a paging format. These capabilities even store it, so you just pay for what you use. Another things that we add into Amazon QuickSight is AIML. Many times your business user want to get some report, but they don't know how to query, how to make dashboard. So the way we do, we allow business user just key in the statement using a natural language processing, AIML. We generate report. For example, I want to know the top 10 products selling in North America, zone 1. And our Amazon QuickSight have a capability to automatically generate that kind of report. This is a new capability we add into Amazon QuickSight. That's my part for today. Please feel free to leave a question with our teams. I will get back to those questions after this. Yep, back to you, Pong.
Thank you, Thor. You're cool.
Hi everyone, am I audible? Okay, great. So hi everyone, my name is Marcella. I'm a solutions architect looking after Asia emerging markets. I'm very happy to have AWS Pakistan users with us tonight, spending your Friday evening learning about AWS new services. So just a recap, AWS reInvent is actually the world's largest cloud conference that is held yearly in Vegas, where we announce our latest service updates. And today we are bringing these updates to you, and I'll be covering on serverless as well as artificial intelligence and machine learning. Okay, not sure. Sorry, are my slides visible? Okay, great. So on AWS, many customers have actually moved from traditional virtual machines as their primary means of running their workloads. And right now, if you look on the left, these are our traditional virtual servers instance that's in the cloud, also known as EC2, most traditional virtual machines. But as time passes, many of our customers have actually adopted a more modern runtime, such as containers and serverless functions. And particularly for serverless, these services has actually taken away a lot of undifferentiated heavy lifting for any infrastructure point of view, sort of infrastructure management and operations, and it allows our customers to really move fast by focusing on what's crucial to your business, such as writing codes and innovation. So, sorry, trying to change the slide. Okay. So as you can see here, since the launch of AWS Lambda back in 2014, AWS has expanded what it means to be serverless, not just across compute, but you can see across database, storage, developer tooling, as well as security tooling at the bottom. And today, we actually have the widest broad set of tools offering in terms of serverless. For example, for DynamoDB, non-relational database, there are no servers to provision, patch, or manage, no software to install, maintain, or operate. As DynamoDB actually automatically scales your tables to adjust for any capacity or to maintain performance with zero administrative work. So your availability as well as your fault tolerance are built in. It helps you to eliminate the need to architect your applications for these capabilities. And moving on, if you're if you're very familiar with running Lambda functions in your workload, you can see here we have what we call the cold start. So if you've been running Lambda functions at scale, you'll be likely familiar with what we call the AWS Lambda lifecycle. So basically, when a Lambda function first starts, it has to go through what we call a cold start. And this typically goes through several steps to basically initialize the function before it can be ready to accept any request that you have for your Lambda. So these can really affect very large deployments or large deployment packages or certain runtimes such as Java or frameworks such as Spring Boot, which would take anywhere across from 5 seconds to 8 seconds to initialize. So this cold start can be a problem for many companies or developers when you are trying to scale up very massively, or basically you want to scale in a short amount of time, and this really prevents you from serving the demand of your workload the quickest way possible. So that is why last year during reInvent, we actually announced what we call the AWS Lambda Snap Start. So this is a new feature where you can turn on for individual functions without any additional charges. So basically, it reduces your Java cold start by approximately 80% to 90%, and is actually available for all your Java 11 runtime. So basically, As you know, Lambda provides a very simple programming model and very easy integration into all your other AWS services while being able to create applications that can very quickly adopt into very changing using patterns. So in many of your use cases of executing your Lambda function takes milliseconds to begin. So in other words, the initialize phase, which I will share in the next slide, can take longer due to many reasons and as seen as our unique Java runtimes and use cases. And I mentioned this is known as the cold start. This is where basically your AWS Lambda snap start will really help. So this is how your AWS Lambda snap start works. Okay, so as you can see, this is the cold start phase. And if you create your Lambda function for the first time with snap start enabled, basically a firecracker snap start is actually created capturing the entire initialization phase. And these snapshot actually persist so that the next time an execution environment gets created, which is the part of the scaling concurrency, these are actually created using the snapshot that was created previously during the snapshot initialization. And this greatly reduces the time that your Lambda function needs to start initializing. So this reduces the cold start, which is very helpful when you need to scale your workloads immediately. Okay, another thing I wanted to briefly talk about is also about building event-driven architectures. So if you're familiar with building event-driven architectures, you should be very familiar with these two services you can see on our screen above, which is Amazon Event Bridge as well as AWS Step Functions. So building event-driven architectures using serverless services is actually growing in popularity among all AWS users. So what it means is actually to stitch up a lot of decoupled microservices together into functional business logics. So like I mentioned, these are the two popular services that you enable when building event-driven architectures. So it is often used for basically choreographing sagas, and AWS Step Functions are used in orchestrating all these sagas. And to learn more about building saga patterns using AWS services, you can check out this video by scanning this QR code above. Okay, so moving on, next. I wanted to quickly also talk about one of our newest features launched last year. So basically, to make it easier for builders or developers like yourself to build event-driven architectures, we are launching what we call the Amazon Event Bridge pipes. So Amazon Event Bridge, in a nutshell, is simply a fully managed serverless event bus. And you might ask, what exactly is an event bus? So an event bus is simply a pipeline that receives a lot of events, and it makes it very easy for you to ingest and process data from AWS services. It can be from your own applications as well as SaaS applications like Salesforce, etc., etc. But however, there are times where you just want a simple point-to-point integration between your producers and your consumers when it comes to building these pipeline events. So this is where Amazon Event Bridge pipes actually fall into place. It is actually designed where you can add in additional enrichment step, which can be used to enrich events with additional contextual data, with event filtering capabilities, very familiar to those who use Amazon Event Bus, is added actually in the process here. So basically, it makes it very easy for you to build event-driven architecture to provide a very simple, consistent and cost-effective way to create really point-to-point integrations between the event producers as well as the event consumers, right? Removing the need to write any undifferentiating glue code, right? And we also have the additional feature of an optional filtering step, which allows only specific sources event to flow into your event pipe, and an optional event enrichment step as well. And all these we are using services such as AWS Lambda, AWS Step Functions, AWS Event Bridge, as well as AWS Event Bridge API destinations and API gateway. So all in all, with all these services combined, it helps you to have more an optional filtering step to be more specific with the sources that you want your producer to be or your consumer to be. Okay, so moving on to the next feature. We are moving on to machine learning. So for this year, machine learning, we actually launched what we call the Amazon Comprehend for IDP. So if you need to basically process documents that have very semi-structured format, such as images of receipts that were scanned or text statements in PDF formats, until today, you first have to process those documents to flatten them out into machine-readable text before using machine learning to classify and extract entities from those texts. So now with Amazon Comprehend for IDP. IDP stands for Intelligent Document Processing. You can actually process your semi-structured documents such as your PDF, your Microsoft Word documents such as your images like your PNGs, your JPGs, or whatever within one single API call. So with one single API call, it allows you to basically organize your documents into categories or classes, and the custom name entity recognition API allows you to extract these entities from documents like product codes, or let's say business specific entities. And basically these APIs are available for real-time interference of files, as well as asynchronous batch processing and large document sets. Yeah. So this is very, very useful when it comes to just flattening a lot of different structure sort of files that you want to use for machine learning purposes. Yeah. Okay, moving on to the next one, we have Amazon Kendra. So for Amazon Kendra, we actually have a new feature. So Amazon Kendra itself is an intelligent search service that is powered by machine learning. And basically, we have two new features such as the tabular search, which allows customers to basically search more intuitively and effectively through tables, right? And these tables are actually embedded with HTML pages. So you can basically ask questions where the answers are contained in a comparison table on a web page. So for example, as you can see in this table on the slide, it can answer question like which credit card charges the highest interest rates, right? And your tabular search works out of the box kind of on the range of your HTML, table formats and domains, and there is no setup or any additional configuration needed. You just need to input your search on Amazon Kendra. And another new feature that's launched last year is actually our systematic search, which now supports more than, I think right now we have 8 different languages, and there's more languages that's supported, including English, Chinese, Spanish, French, German, Portuguese, Japan, and Korean. And for this is no setup or configuration needed as well. Okay, moving on to our flagship product, which is Amazon SageMaker. So for those of you who have participated in the AWS Deep Racer previously last year, so AWS Deep Racer is actually highly constructed with our flagship product, which is the Amazon SageMaker. So, you know, apart from Role Manager, we also now have the SageMaker model dashboard, which allows you to really monitor all your models in one place. So basically, you can now see which models that are used in production. You can visualize model lineage as well as your track resources. And basically, you're able to monitor your model behavior through integration with AWS SageMaker Model Monitor and as well as SageMaker Clarify. So this dashboard automatically alerts you when your models are actually not being monitored or deactivated in some sort of unexpected behavior. So this is a very, very good governance tool for all your machine learning models to make it more transparent as well. And also to simplify your access control. You can basically now drill deeper into each individual model that you create to troubleshoot any issues. Okay, so that is actually all for the machine learning as well as artificial intelligence and serverless update on my end. I'll now hand over the time back to Pong and the AWS user group.
Thanks, Mas.